Welcome, racing fans, to Motorsports Radio, our Monday marathon, as we always do on Monday evening. This is MR1, home of Motorsports Talk, MR1 for Sprint Cup Series, MR2 for Xfinity Series, MR3 for the trucks, which we haven't done for a while, but we'll be doing trucks next week. MR5 will have all the results for you. And so NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing on Sunday from Kansas. And here is the Motorsports Radio breakdown. The Hollywood Casino 400, 267 laps, 400 miles. Matt Kenseth in the pole position. Kyle Busch started in second. Carl Edwards third. Martin Truex Jr. fourth. In the fourth starting position, also 400th career start in the Sprint Cup Series on Sunday as well. Alex Bowman in the 88 car started in fifth. Kurt Busch had a start in the rear. Crazy wreck during practice on Friday. Justin Allgaier had to also start in the rear for a transmission change, and Reed Source and missed driver introductions, so he too had to start in the rear. So the 2018, 1978, and the 88 in the top five starting positions at the top at the drop of the green flag, which was at 2:34 p.m. Eastern Time for a Sunday showdown in the Sunflower State, a battle for the top 8 in the second race of the round of 12. As Sunday's main event roars to life, field gets up to speed and cars spread out fairly quickly. Top 5, lap 5, Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards now up into second, Kyle Busch down to third, Truex Jr. still in fourth, and Denny Hamlin now in fifth. Alex Bowman, he would drop down to seventh. 2019-18 making up the top 3. Kenseth's lead 0.8 of a second, 1 second at lap 10, but this would be the top 3 up until lap 21, when Kevin Harvick, who would eventually come to steal the show, moves up to third. Kevin Harvick, who was below the cut line at the beginning of this race. The 2019 and the 4 now in the top 3, and the top 7 consisted of all chases at the early stages of Sunday's event. Top 5, lap 25, we have Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, and Kyle Busch. Logano also below the cut line at this time, but it was below the cut line. He's pretty close to it, so if you're a Joey Logano fan like myself, you might be getting a little nervous. But Kenseth's lead out just 0.9 of a second at this time. Did break the 1 second mark briefly, but cousin Carl closing in, and Kenseth did put 1.2 seconds at lap 26 just before the first caution, which would come out at lap 26 for debris. Kevin Harvick's pit crew, the 4 crew pit issues, he would wind up dropping down to 8th. Restart from this caution to be at lap 31. Kenseth still in the lead, however, after that restart. Kyle Busch would move up to second. Briefly, Carl Edwards takes back second, and it was a quick swap of positions. 2019-18 back in the top 3. Truex Jr. 78 down in 4th. Kevin Harvick climbs up to 5th by lap 33. And then Denny Hamlin having some issues with that 11 car. Some tire issue actually turned out to be a splitter. The splitter was driving up on the track there, so they had to grind that down a little bit, because that splitter, thin piece underneath the lights put of the downforce package, also known as the downforce rule. And then question number 2 would come out at lap 35. This would be for Eric Almirola's 43, contacted by the 23, puts the 43 into the grass. Banger up for both the 43 and the 23 driven by David Reagan. Also, Brian Scott was involved in this one in the 44 car. Back to green at lap 40, pedal to the metal once again for about 3 laps or so until the third caution comes out. This is lap 43. Jamie McMurray, the number 1 car, into the wall between turn 3 and 4. Possible tire cut from the 88. Third restart of the day at lap 48 with Matt Kenseth, Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick now in the top 3, and that'll be the 20 and 4. Harvick then to second, Truex Jr. down to third, Carl Edwards in 4th, Joey Logano in 5th. Kyle Busch drops down to 6th. And as the first 50 comes to completion. 3 cautions already in the first 50 laps, with Kyle Busch having some issues at lap 55. He'd wind up dropping down to 10th. But in fact, the top 5 at lap 55 was Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Truex Jr., Carl Edwards, and Joey Logano. Jimmy Six-Time Johnson in 6th, who up in 6th, and he started in 21st place. But Six-Time Johnson climbs from 6th to 5th, passing Joey Logano. Logano now in the 6th, and then 7th as Tony Stewart takes 6th. We'll have it here. This is where Joey Logano, if you saw this race, he had that debris on the grill. The 22 car had some overheating issues, so he let the 14 get in front of him, and so he cuts it behind the 14, so the air off the 14 would blow the debris off. Genius. And Matt Kansas leads still 9/10 of a second on now second place Kevin Harvick, man. Now, the crazy part was Matt Kansas led the most laps, wound up finishing in 6th, I believe. We'll get into that in a moment, but as we close on lap 70, Matt Kansas now starting to put some distance as Kansas' lead now grows to 1.7 seconds, embarking onto the 2-second mark. It was actually 2.7 seconds at lap 277. Matt Kansas looking to dial in a reservation in the round of 8 as the Kansas showdown now starts heating up. We get to lap 82 or so, then we have a round of green flag pit stops. Kyle Larson first to pit. And in the meantime, Truex Jr. moves back up to second. Harvick down to third. 2078 in the 4 to top 3 now as the first round of green flag pit stop position shuffling unfolds. The 88 trades some paint with the outside wall. Alex Bowman comes into pit with no question for this one. And teammate Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott makes some contact. The 28 and the 24 coming off a pit road. Just a bump, nothing crazy. Then we get to lap 105, top 5. Matt Kansas, Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, and Truex Jr. Now, here we have Matt Kansas with 5-second lead on Kevin Harvick. Now, it was a 5.296 at lap 105. But then the yellow flag flies for the 4th time, lap 115. Now, Truex Jr., before that, he was having some fuel issues. I should point that out. From the last restart from caution 3, if you saw this race, they were having problems with the fuel can and the fuel wasn't getting in, so he was down on fuel, had to come in for a second pit stop to get that fuel in there. So they were having issues with the fuel can, so they finally had to get some backup fuel. But then it was like, so we get to lap 115, question number 4. This would be for Josh Weiss, and he goes into the wall in the 30 car pretty hard, heads to the garage. Go back to green at lap 121. Kenseth still in front. Harvick in second. And now running in third, we have Chase Elliott. Top 5, lap 125. Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Carl Edwards, and a little a battle between Joey Logano and Carl Edwards. But hold on, because Kevin Harvick passing Matt Kenseth to become the new race leader. Kenseth, who was dominating for so far, down in second, so we've got the 4 to 20 and the 24 in the top 3 now. But then we get to lap 139, and Carl Edwards working his way to third. Chase Elliott in second, 4:24.19, and Matt Kenseth down in 4th now, and then winds up dropping down to 6th, man. And he would stay down there for a little while. Top 5, lap 145. Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, Joe Logano, and crazy how things get shuffled. Harvick's lead just shy of a full second as the second half of Sunday's race comes into fruition, and Kevin Harvick trying to maintain a good sized gap between that 4 and the 24. And we got into some nitty gritty racing right here between these two guys, Chase Elliott, but Chase Elliott not too far behind. Kevin Harvick trying to get away. Chase Elliott getting on him. Harvick's lead at lap 155, under half a second. The 4:24 and the 19 still in the top 3, but Chase Elliott getting on the back of Harvick's number 4, a little side by side, almost got the 24 in front. Harvick not letting him get by. Chase Elliott still in the pursuit of his first Sprint Cup Series win. Then we get to lap 166. Some more side-by-side action. Harvick and Chase Elliott going at it, but right behind them was Carl Edwards, and he wants to get in front also. But then it happens. Lap 169, Chase Elliott, the new leader. Kevin Harvick will then drop down to third. Carl Edwards moves up to second. So now we have the 24-19 and the 4. And a round of green flag pit stops around lap 174. So, in the midst of all this, we get activity. We got question number 5, and this was for Kyle Larson, lap 176, the 42 car into the wall at turn 2, and we go to back to green at lap 184 with another new leader this time, and it's Carl Edwards. Jimmy Johnson in second, Joey Logano in third. Chase Elliott winds up dropping down to 27th, having a tire rub issue, so he had to come back to pit. And a 3-wide start, most of the field coming out of this restart. 19-4, 22 in the top 3 now. Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, Joe Logano. And man, oh man, could not believe it. Brad Keselowski flying across the infield grass after some contact from Denny Hamlin. Major damage to the number 2 Miller Lite car. And this would bring out the 6th question of the day. Keselowski trying to get from the inside to the outside and just got in front of Denny Hamlin. Now, if you see Keselowski race, you know he does this a lot. He's in the inside, just boom, all of a sudden he's going on to the outside. Gets right in front of Denny Hamlin, and Denny Hamlin tried to get right into him and set the 2 down into the infield and just flew across that infield. So that's what happened with this one. Keselowski would come back out and wanted to go back into the garage. He actually had to go back to the garage twice, and you never know what's going to happen. Restart lap 199, Cousin Carl in front, Harvick second, Jimmy Johnson now in third. So now we have the 9-4 and the 48 as the Sunday drive in the country winds down. Top 5, lap 205, Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, AJ Allmendinger in fourth, and then we have Joey Logano in fifth. And so 21 cars on the lead lap at this moment. Lap 217 will start the final 50. Then the 7th caution at lap 220. Brad Keselowski, here's what happened. So, caution 6, Brad Keselowski. So they get to the garage, they send the car back out. Brad Keselowski comes back out, and Keselowski's number 2 car starts smoking. So NASCAR then threw the caution out for possible fluid on the track. Okay. Also, Trevor Bayne, his car goes into the wall, but the caution came out for Brad Keselowski. It all happened simultaneously. So they put the caution out for safety precautions. Restart at lap 226 with now another new race leader. We have Austin Dillon now with the number 3 car, trying desperately to get away from the cut line. And this upcoming weekend at Talladega, the cut line is coming as we head to another elimination race and head into the round of 8. Now, Austin Dillon, he got in front by beating Carl Edwards in a race off pit road. And Austin Dillon was the leader, but Cousin Carl quickly retakes the lead. And after a little restart shuffle, we're back to the 19-4 and the 48 in the top 3. Harvick with a low line pass on 6-time Johnson, and Kevin Harvick making a beeline for the 19, nitty-gritty chase for the lead for Harvick's number 4. Some tailgating mixed with the little side-by-side by Carl Edwards getting away. Carl Edwards' lead just shy of half a second at lap 233. And as the mojo was going, we get back to yet another yellow. This is caution number 8, lap 234 for Reagan Smith's number 7. And he goes into the wall, down tire, into the wall. Restart lap 230. Here's Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, oh my goodness, penalized for too many crew members over the wall. I've been watching a lot of racing and stuff, and they're talking about Denny Hamlin getting cut, man. So that's going to definitely have some implications on the Motorsports Radio Top 4 Championship 4 probables, but we'll have to see how everything unfolds next weekend. Now, restart lap 238 out of this caution. Kevin Harvick in the lead. And man, oh man, hold on. Carl Edwards down to 3rd. Kyle Busch back up to 2nd. And then we have a little battle for a 2nd between the 18 and the 19. Nitty-gritty, ladies and gentlemen. Nitty-gritty. And then Chase Elliott's 24 car. His car slows down on the track. He had some tire issues. So he would wind up dropping down a little bit. Top 5 lap 245. I think he finished like 31st or something. We'll have the finishing stuff. The drivers' finishing positions. Top 5 lap 245. Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, Jimmy Johnson. Harvick's lead now 1.5 seconds on Kyle Busch at lap 245. And then we get to lap 247 and we get into the start of the last 20. A battle for second between Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch. Still Kevin Harvick's lead now with 2.5 seconds. Driver of the number 4 looking for a spot in the round of 8, and so are the drivers of the 19 and the 18. It was excitement maximus. Top 5 lap 255. Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Jimmy Johnson. Then we get to lap 257, the last 10. Lap 262, the final 5. Final 5, top 5. Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, Jimmy Johnson, and Kyle Busch. Kevin Happy Harvick on a mission. White flag in the air at 266. The checker comes out at lap 267. And the winner of the Hollywood Casino 400